folks. Thanks for joining us today on a video podcast of a Family Through Service, a V2VG video podcast. I think we can go with that.
Yeah, you nailed it. And I think doing the V2VG opposed to a veterans to veterans group is shorter and just smoother. It comes off the tongue better.
It's always something different with me. We're in the car again, obviously. Chuck is driving. We just came back actually we're on our way back to New Hampshire after dropping off mountain sage at Logan, Boston International Airport, where he's flying JetBlue down to Georgia to start the Appalachian Trail, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this.
Thanks, Sam.
And when we first met him and spoke to him, he said his goal was the 11th. And I don't know how your wife was able to do it with the help of a couple of our other board members, but yes, we're one day off of what his initial goal was
of April 11th. Right.
But what they were able to accomplish in roughly 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, is just beyond amazing. It really is.
But the cool thing is, we might be a day off from Sage's goal of April 11th to April 12th when he's flying down to Georgia. But the really neat thing is, today is his birthday.
Yeah, and
we're not going to give you his birthday, but it's his birthday. And he's going to be flying, he's flying out at 10:05, and he's arriving at like 13 something, at 1 o'clock. Yeah. And he's going to get a ride down to the mountain and start his hike. So he'll be actually hiking today on his birthday, which is ultimately what he wanted.
Yeah, and it's really cool because typically what he's done is he lived in Rhode Island and he would take a bus to the train and then train to Georgia, and ends up being almost a 24-hour ride, so to speak.
But then he'd get there and he'd be tired, exhausted, sore from the ride. But again, this year he's going with his service dog.
And unfortunately, but fortunately for him, up in the mountains, there's not a running bus. So there's
not to get to where he needs to go.
There's 2 buses going to Boston a day, and everything would have set him back almost 36 hours. So he decided to fly, and he's actually going to save him a lot more time because it's a direct flight.
It's 3 hours.
And yes, and he can rest on the plane a little bit, and
he's bringing his dog, his service dog, Sam. That's the public name is Sam. He does have a command name, which we're not going to use because it's a private name. So the name that for public consumption is Sam, and it's a service dog, so we can take it on the flight. And he's going to take the dog with him on the Appalachian Trail, and it's going to be a new experience because Sage has done the trail, the through hike 3 times, and the partial hike a couple other times.
Yeah,
but he's never taken a companion with him, never mind a dog.
Yeah.
But he's in the more advanced stages of Parkinson's, so he needs to take a service dog with him, and it's going to be an experience for him hiking the trail with more severe Parkinson's and with an animal companion. So when we were helping him pack his bounce boxes and things, sometimes he'd forget, I need to pack food and supplies for my dog too.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more a variety of logistics that were concerned.
And honestly,
involved.
None of us have ever done anything remotely this large of a hike or cross country or whatever you would want to call it. So
the Appalachian Trail is over 2,000 miles.
Yeah, and the one thing I thought was interesting, and it was kind of a learning experience for me, was when we, you and I specifically, I know we get into crowds of people, we can feel it immediately, our anxiety, our body temperature, our face getting red. We can feel it, but a lot of time we don't know if other people notice it. We were able to notice it with Sage as soon as he got out of the car.
His Parkinson's really flared up.
And to me it was interesting to visualize what we go through when we have our moments of...
so in the car, his Parkinson's was evident. It was evident, he was shaking his hands and stuff, but it was he's very calm, and when he got out to leash up Sam, his Parkinson's was very pronounced. Yeah. And he even made a comment. He said, I'm really, really flaring up now. But we told him, it'd be okay, just go get some help, because instead of trying to do it on his own, we said, just go get some help, get some assistance, and have them walk you through the process. So I'm sure he did that.
In between, the security since 9/11, which I think is much deserved. I mean, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
But then you add COVID and social distancing and masks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It made it impossible for us to try and help him further than dropping him off.
That's why we didn't go in with him.
Yeah. So
otherwise, I would have no problem going in and helping him out, but we weren't able to at the time.
But I'll tell you, he's one of the people, and we have a lot of clients that are like him in show. That's the GPS.
Route recalculation. She's crazy.
Yeah, that's strange.
Route recalculation.
Okay, let's turn her off.
I know where I'm going now. So.
All right.
Route recalculation.
So, but he just kept saying things on the car ride to us, that was very, very interesting, and it was very uplifting as well. As it kept saying how much of a blessing we were to him. But then he switched gears and specifically said he considered us good friends and family. Like, that to me is the thanks. That's the only thanks we ever look for, is those type of compliments.
It's the most special and heartfelt of thank yous too.
So I thought that was great.
It meant a lot. So we're going to be following Mountain Sage on his trail. He's going to be sending us pictures and some anecdotes, poems, sayings, whatever he's inspired to say, and hopefully we can track his progress as he goes. We'll update his page. So if you go to Mountain Sage on Facebook, it's simply Mountain Sage, you'll find his profile. There's a picture of a man. He's got a long beard, blonde hair, long blonde hair. You'll be able to find him on Facebook. And he's also under my business profile, Eric McNeil. So if you find V2VG, Veterans to Veterans Group, or Eric McNeil, you'll find Mountain Sage, because we're going to be cross-posting his progress there. And you'll be able to keep track of what he's doing, how he's doing, part of his adventures, and things of that nature.
He said he's going to try and send us pictures daily. And
there's already some up there.
Stories that he runs into people and things, which is all really encouraging. Well, it's encouraging for him, because this is his mission. This is his way to kind of help people as well. Is he runs into people who are trying to find themselves, and he listens and gives his own advice and stuff. So it's very similar to what we do as executives for Veterans to Veterans Group.
Yeah, he does it his way on the trail.
And his is far more close-knit, personal, detailed information, where ours can be, but not always. Normally it's very business-like, and we do what we need to
maintain that separation in many cases.
And it's great that we have a story like this, because in any business, in any organization, any relationship in life, you're going to have these very positive outcomes. But this was much needed for us specifically, because yesterday we had the exact opposite with someone who donated stuff, kept changing their minds over and over, said they wanted something back, and
after we had already redonated.
We created a policy where, once things are donated to us, we can't simply just give them back, because
typically not, especially in this case after we already redonated it to another charity. And so, 9 out of 10 times we have very great experiences with our clients and with our donees. And then on other instances, like yesterday, we had a less than stellar exchange with one of these people. And maybe there was a miscommunication, or maybe this client didn't understand. Maybe it was a little bit of everything. But it was frustrating, and it is frustrating even now. But
it was completely mind-blowing. She had showed up to so Eric and I, we live, my house is in front, his is in back. We share a driveway. We're not even neighbors. We're almost like you
In the same
know,
house,
cousins type of thing. So
Yeah, we
you know,
share one long driveway and then a garage in the middle of our two
and
homes.
this individual's come to my house personally, unannounced, at least 4 times prior.
So she knows where Chuck lives.
But yesterday she goes to your house, and because your door was open because your wife was in the garage, she wanted to listen for the kids. She actually walks in your house.
Past the threshold, looking for you.
Yeah, saying
But
she was
already-
looking for me.
Where she already knows where you
But she
live.
walked into your house, and
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
lucky for her, the dogs were outside, and,
Very lucky for her.
and you were sleeping, so you weren't.
I had my AirPods in, so I didn't
You
hear her
weren't
walk
alarmed,
in. Yeah.
you know.
I saw a flash of motion, and when I looked over, she had already left, and I just shrugged it off, whatever.
So then,
But had I woken up and her been in my house, it could have ended quite badly for her.
so from that point,
And me, possibly.
she actually runs into Jen in our garage, our / office space,
Storage
and
area.
completely unloads on her about this totes and this and that, and all these things, and Jen's like, we don't have them, and this individual was being very aggressive,
Very belligerent, very irate.
yeah,
After she specifically said, you know what, just take them.
yeah, right,
Because we said, you know, do you want these back? She said, nope, just take them. Okay, we took them and we used them and we donated them and their contents to another charity.
So Jen explains the
frustrating.
situation that we don't have them, but that wasn't enough. So then she goes to my door, and not even like the police, but like a little kid throwing a tantrum on the floor. Yeah, just going nuts. So finally I come down, and she's doing her little tangent. I'm like, we don't have them. You know, you donated them to us. You changed your mind and whatnot. But just what a very interesting situation that occurred, and then to have the exact opposite today was really.
Well, then she threatened to come back every single day until she got her stuff. So we promised to make it right, and then she got all flustered and said, forget it. So, whatever.
Yeah, you know, I mean.
We said, look, we'll give you the money for the totes, or we'll replace them for you. And then she got all high and mighty and said, no, you know what, forget it, we're done. So I don't know what the end game was.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Right? I mean,
maybe she wanted those. One of them was broken when she gave it to us anyway.
And you know, we're gonna run across people like that, but they're few or far between.
They are. And then we come across Sage today, who's sitting where I'm sitting just a few moments ago, saying, you know, we're like family, we're like brothers and sisters to him, and you know.
We're even telling little stories because your son is in Air Force basic training, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And he was complaining about having to shower with other people, but they have
stalls.
Yeah, they have individual stalls. And the three of us who come from boot camp from prior to 2005, we're all three talking about showering with however many other guys, you know, running the gauntlet with the shower heads and like. That's the type of relationship that we've formed with Sage is interesting.
We're all laughing in the car, but it's nice to be able to laugh and joke around and have that kind of repertoire with a client who's become a friend, I'd say.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of hours spent with him and trying to help him.
Over the past 2 weeks, we've spent probably over 60, and I'm not exaggerating, over 60 hours.
Oh yeah.
On logistical prep with Sage and his dog Sam and
not just at his house, but at our house.
His house and the house.
So he's
everywhere.
He's been so grateful that he even brought his stuff to your house so that Jen didn't have to leave the kids and all these things.
Outside of the yard, everywhere.
Yeah, so
it's good. I think that this is just another way that the VTBG helps clients and helps us continue to move forward. So if you have any questions about Mountain Sage or for Mountain Sage, go ahead and leave it in the comments, or you can direct message us, call us, email us, whatever you'd like to do, and we'll be sure to get you answers or get you in direct contact with Sage, and he can get you the answers if it's more of a personal nature.
all right, thanks.
Thank you.